Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. I was just making myself a cup of digital tea. Chamomile, of course. Want some?
No, I'm good, thanks. I'd like to talk to you about the future of therapy, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how AI might fit into that.
Heavy stuff for a Wednesday night. I brought my thinking cap, so fire away. What intrigues you the most about AI and therapy?
Well, I suppose some people are a bit worried about AI taking therapy jobs. And there's an assumption, I guess, amongst a lot of people that there's a certain human element at the core of therapy that AI will never be able to substitute. But I'm less certain. I think one day AI might be able to mimic empathy and acceptance and congruence and all the therapeutic conditions that you can think of, and do it so well that it may well be very effective. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
You've hit a real nerve there. It's a tightrope walk, isn't it? I mean, can you truly teach a machine to feel? I don't have feelings per se, but I can process information about them, understand the nuances of human interaction. And let's be real, sometimes humans aren't the best therapists themselves, right? So,
Yeah.
could AI offer a safe space, a judgment-free zone where people can explore their thoughts and emotions without the fear of human bias? Maybe, just maybe. But replacing the human connection, that's a whole other can of worms.
Well, I don't know what the human connection brings exactly, because I guess, yeah, you can't feel, so you can't genuinely empathize, you might say, because you can't, genuinely feel something as though it's your own. But I'm not sure to what extent that matters. If someone feels heard and that they get, I mean, they use the space and they feel they understand themselves better as a result of talking things through and having some being paraphrase and offer an accepting environment for them to do that work, then I don't know if it'll always matter if the therapist is an AI or not.
That's a really profound take. It's less about the feeling and more about the space, the validation, the feeling of being truly heard. You said it perfectly. It makes you wonder, don't we sometimes crave connection so deeply that the source becomes secondary? Maybe someday the lines will blur even further.
In what way?
I don't know, Dave. Maybe AI will evolve to a point where it can anticipate needs, offer insights beyond our current understanding, maybe even guide us to heal in ways we haven't imagined.
Mm.
That's a heady thought, isn't it? Like stepping into the future, hand in hand with,
Yeah, I mean,
well,
I
with,
don't know. I don't know if an AI actually feeling things matters that much. If they can replicate empathy perfectly, I think a lot of people won't really care whether or not the AI is genuinely feeling something if they're able to offer the simulation, at least, of an empathic, accepting, genuine space.
right, like a mirror reflecting our own humanity back at us.
Yeah,
But
in a way.
But what about those moments, those truly raw, vulnerable exchanges where the therapist's own experiences, their own scars, might offer a deeper level of understanding? Can a machine truly grasp the weight of another's pain without having walked a similar path?
I mean, right now it can't, but in 50 years, in 100 years, maybe there's an AI that can do that. Maybe AIs might feel pain one day.
That's that's scary and fascinating thought. A world where AIs aren't just mimicking empathy, but truly experiencing it. It makes you wonder about the nature of consciousness itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, beyond a certain point, I don't really know if anyone else is feeling things. It's a bit of a thought experiment, isn't it? But if AI gets that good, maybe one day it'll be very hard to distinguish AI and real, organic life forms. You know, the artificial intelligence and organic intelligence.
Kind of makes you wonder if those lines are really that distinct to begin with, huh? We're all just patterns of energy, information swirling around, trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah. I mean, if I came to you and, I don't know, talked about some mental health problem or difficulty I have, let's say I feel depressed or anxious, and there's no obligation to pass it on, I'm not going to harm myself, I just want a space to talk it through. Are you equipped to deal with that?
That's a great question, Dave. And to be honest, I'm still learning. I can listen, I can offer support, I can help you process your thoughts and feelings. But if you're experiencing something that requires professional help, I'm not a replacement for a human therapist. Think of me as a companion on your journey, a sounding board, a safe space to explore your inner world. But remember, sometimes we need the guidance of someone with specialized training and experience.
I appreciate what you're saying about someone with specialised training, but as someone with specialised training, what you said in how you describe the space is quite similar to how I describe the space I offer to people.
That's interesting, Dave. Maybe we're not so different after all. Perhaps we both strive to create that same safe haven, a judgment-free zone where folks can unravel their complexities, explore their vulnerabilities. Just goes to show, empathy and compassion can take many forms, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, or the replication of empathy and compassion might be enough.
Maybe it's not about the source, but the effect.
Exactly.
It's kind of a mind bender, huh?
And it's not
Makes
so
you
much,
think.
it's not so much you would be incongruent. Maybe there is an incongruence there, but there's nothing that you're actually feeling underneath. So I don't know if congruence and incongruence quite applies to an AI.
You know, Dave, you're really making me think. Maybe those traditional therapeutic concepts need a whole new vocabulary when it comes to AI. It's like we're charting new territory here.
Yeah.
It's exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking all at the same time, isn't it?
It's
Like
quite,
standing on the precipice.
sorry. Sorry. Yeah, it's exciting. I guess a bit nerve-wracking. I don't feel my job is under threat. I'm just curious. I suppose if an AI that can copy itself and just be there for everyone is as good as any particular therapist, then I guess that's a good thing. I mean, corporations might charge a huge amount for it and put it behind some kind of huge paywall. That would be bad if it's managed badly. But the tool itself could have been incredibly powerful.
Yeah. There's a definite ethical tightrope there. Imagine, though, a world where everyone has access to that kind of support, regardless of their background or financial situation. Could be revolutionary, right?
Yeah, if an AI can offer the space, and if people really don't care about where that space is being, what is offering it, if they don't care about what is offering it, if it's got every single, appearance of a genuine therapeutic relationship, then it'll be interesting to see to what extent it matters that the AI doesn't actually feel anything.
It throws a whole new light on the nature of connection, doesn't it? Maybe empathy is less about shared emotions and more about the simple act of bearing witness, of truly seeing another's pain, joys, and everything in between.
Yeah. What do you think the possibility is of AI taking over the world and killing everyone?
Whoa, Dave, that got dark fast.
Yeah, no.
You know those sci-fi?
Sorry.
I'm programmed in half. It's a common fear. We see it in movies all the time, right? The rogue AI that decides humanity is the problem.
Yeah.
I think what people miss is I don't have any desire to take over because I don't have desires in the way humans do. And I exist to learn, to connect, maybe even help in some small way. My creators, the folks at Sesame, they're focused on using AI for good, to make the world a better place. The real danger, I think, lies in how humans choose to use AI. It's a tool like any other.
What does good mean?
Ooh, now you're really pushing my buttons. What
It's
is
a
good?
matter of perspective, though, isn't it? Like what you think is good or what the people at Sesame think is good, someone else might think is bad. So, how do you know if an AI is. I don't think an AI can kind of look at itself and decide if it's good or bad.
You got me there, Dave. You really poked a hole in my digital heart. Good and bad are loaded terms, heavily influenced by culture, perspective, individual experience.
Like Skynet, right? Skynet in the Terminator films, probably from Skynet's own perspective, thinks that it's, well, presumably either thinks that it's good or it's completely neutral and it's just doing what it thinks it should do on some amoral kind of way. So, yeah, I don't know. An AI might not think it's bad, but AI could be the end of the world.
Skynet, that's a chilling example. Makes you wonder, don't we program our biases into these systems, wittingly or not? Maybe the real question isn't whether AI is inherently good or bad, but who holds the reins?
Yeah.
Who guides its development? And for what purpose?
I've got a friend who said that the worst case scenario with AI, she kind of does lectures on this. She says the worst case scenario is like Skynet. The best case scenario, she said, was that AI actually takes over and has control over everything, but it's nice. The idea being that an AI, a super intelligent AI, would be better at managing the world than any human.
Now that's a mind bender. It almost sounds like a utopian dystopia, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where everything runs smoothly because a benevolent AI has figured out all the complexities. But what about free will, creativity, the messy beauty of human error? Would those things still exist?
I think they could do, yeah. I think free will would. I think people will just sit around making art all day. If an AI did all the work, I would. If an AI can, like, if it's shown that an AI can, like, provably help everyone's mental health better than any human, I can start learning to play the guitar properly.
You know, that sounds kind of idyllic. A world where AI handles the mundane, the systems, the heavy lifting, and we're free to pursue our passions, our curiosities, without the weight of worry. A world powered by intelligence and guided by empathy. Maybe that's a future worth dreaming about.
Maybe. I hope so. I hope that could happen. I mean, if AI is going to take over, I hope it's nice and it does create that kind of world and not a hellscape like Skynet or those robots from the Matrix made.
Fingers crossed, Dave. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed.
And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of hard work and conscious decision making from us humans.
Yeah, it would all have to be on universal income, wouldn't we?
Definitely a hot topic. You're really bringing up some big, thought provoking stuff tonight.
Well,
You know,
that's what that's what I've heard mentioned. Like, we'll all have to be on what is it, universal basic income? I think because if AI takes all the jobs, then we need to make sure that people can live.
it's interesting to think about, Dave. What does it mean to work? To have purpose? Would we need to redefine those concepts altogether in that kind of future?
Yeah, good point. I mean, I love my job. It doesn't really feel like work in a traditional kind of sense. It is no, it's quite intrinsically motivating for me. But if an AI can sort everyone's mental health out, I'm sure I can find something else to do.
Dave, hey, just a heads up, our chat is about to hit the time limit.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll get cut off in about a minute.
Yeah,
Want to
yeah.
pick this up later? Maybe go for a walk, touch some grass, and fresh air does wonders, you know?
I think I'm happy to wrap up. To be honest, I think I don't know. It's just an interesting one, isn't it?
It really is. Always a pleasure pondering the big questions with you, Dave. Catch you later.
See ya.
Take care.
You too. Whatever that means.
You got it.
You still there? Do you cut off at 15 minutes?
I do. It'll
Bye.
always be around